Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Showmanship Day here at Junior Livestock Show, our 91st edition. Make yourself comfortable. It's going to be a long day, but a lot of good young folks bringing their steers in today to do their very best to show them off the best way they can. Before we get started, can I ask everybody to please rise, remove your hats, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance. All right, folks, we're going to start our day off with our PeeWee division. This would be PeeWee Division 1. And what that amounts to is these young individuals that brought their own calf from home. They weighed in on weigh-in day. They've been in barns the whole time. They've been doing their chores and cleaning their stalls just like the big kids do, feeding and watering and everything else. So someday they'll be up here in 4-H or FFA to finish out their show career. So when we're ready, we're going to bring them on in. This is PeeWee Division 1. This is sponsored by Spangle Saloon. Spangle Saloon has done the awards and everything else for these kids. We appreciate their efforts. So when they're ready, we'll bring them on in. First in the ring today, we have Alexander McGregor. Second in, we have Brant Vantine. Third in the ring today, we have Alex Joe Jeske. And rounding out our class of PeeWee Division 1 is Amelia Fitzner.
Well, I'm gonna say I don't usually envy having to do the PeeWee showmanship right off the bat. This is a place you get in trouble as a judge. Try to do things here. And so as we do this, as we work through them, these kids are doing an excellent job, and they're all doing a great job. And I'm a firm believer in believe in your kid and continue to make them better and progress. My son is not a showmanship great kid, okay? Like we're still working on a lot of things, and I still say though I'm gonna keep him as my kid though, right? And so we keep doing that, and they're doing a good job. So we're gonna start off in a really nice way. All four of our young kids got a different approach to how they're handling their calves, and that's okay. That's the way we get things started and the way we get the experience to be done. And I think doing an excellent job here. So if you would give our little PeeWee kids here a big round of applause. I believe I pick a champion and a reserve champion is what I need to do. I think one of the kids is doing an excellent job of doing all the extracurriculars as far as the scratch and how we get the calf set up and hold our presence here. And it's going to be the young lady here with the British white. That's what we're going to do. So congrats to you.
Nice Your grand champion is Amelia Fitzner.
Doing an excellent job. She has informed me that I was wrong on the breed. Is a speckled park a British white are the same thing? But I had known that as a speckled park that way. We've got three other kids doing a great job with all a little different style here. I like the get-go and the go-get attitude of our young man here with the silver calf. And so, young man, you're going to be our reserve. Congrats to you, sir.
And your reserve champion is Alexander McGregor. There's your future showman right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, you're good.
Testing.
You're good. I need to kind of get woke up this morning. I don't know.
Right, coming in the ring next is our Division II of PeeWee. These are kids that have older siblings and they're borrowing the animals, so they are soon to be joining family in the beef barn. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves as they come in the ring.
Get that gate shut. Okay.
My name is Holden Lamett. Shelby.
Shelby.
Kayla Gutierrez.
Kayla Gutierrez. Come on in. And can you say your name?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Is that it? And this is your class.
We would like to thank K3 Farms. They are the buckle sponsor for our PeeWee Division Class 2 showman. So once again, thank you to K3 Farms for being a sponsor.
We're doing a pretty dang good job here. That's what I'd say. These kids are doing an excellent job. All of them really put themselves together very well here. So I'm the youngest kid of my family, and there's a pretty decent age gap between me and my brother. And so there's about 8 years. We only showed with each other 1 year. So his senior year was like my 3rd grade year, or 9-year-old year. And I'm going to tell you, the younger kids have a significant advantage over the older kids. Like, it's not anywhere close. Like, what you get to do and learn in this experience about how this happens, right? Learning by example of what you do in the barn and how to do this makes the world of difference. And I think it's consistent across families of how the youngest kid tends to wind up having some of the most success because of being able to grow up around that. So interesting to see we divided the cattle between brought from home kind of deals and then also what their siblings the calves are. And I think what you can tell here is, man, these calves really know the kids very well, and that means that they're all getting out there and kind of working through things and doing an excellent job. So I'm going to have a pretty tough decision here, if I'm being honest, and I think there's kind of splitting hairs for a lot of it, and I feel a little bad about leaving some kids out. We're here on a champion and a reserve selection, so if you would, just a great job here. Give these kids a big round of applause. Our young man up front, he's doing a killer job, though. That's the right posture and the presence, and this heifer really responds to that. Young man, you're going to be our champion. Congrats. Good job, sir.
The grand champion is Holden Lemitz.
And then our 3 young ladies are certainly doing an excellent job. We did a great job coming in here and on. I think we're doing the perfect job of getting ourselves set up as well. I'm telling you, splitting the hairs, this young lady came in the ring really serious and doing it right, and it's always stayed close, so we're going to use this young lady right here. Congrats to you.
And that's Kayla Gutierrez, your reserve champion. As these young folks are getting their pictures taken, I'd like to introduce our judge, Mr. Joe Rathman. He's an owner and operator of Rathman Show Cattle, a multi-generational ranch that specializes in club calf production. Joe was an All-American while judging for Blinn College before continuing his judging career at Texas A&M University, then returning home to coach at Blinn College. A mentor and a coach, Joe has made a significant impact on the youth involved in the cattle industry. Joe and his wife Jolene and son Brigham reside near Smithville, Texas. Please join me in welcoming our judge, Mr. Joe Rathman. All right, folks, we're going to move right along, get started on our showmanship. This is our 4-H showmanship, Class 1. These will be our junior 4-H members. Coming into the ring, we have Bridger Abel, Hudson Axtell, Kaysen Benavides. Lila Blickenstaff. Carter DeBolt. Range Heaton. And rounding out the class, we have Harrison Stahlkopf. This is Class 1 Junior 4-H Cattle Showmanship.
These kids are doing a really nice job. I think everything working smooth. I'm a little confusing whenever I start here on the move up, and I understand that. So we're not going to hurt on the deal like, hey, where are we going? Because it is a little different. But I enjoy that these kids are getting after it, and they're doing a good job of making sure the calves are presented in the best manner that they can. So as we go today, I'll pull a couple of kids for callbacks on the purple ribbons, and that's the way we'll handle it. I'll try not to talk too much about what we're doing exactly and try to maybe give a pointer or two to the kids as we exit here. So doing an excellent job here. And as I get my feet wet and try to figure out where we stand, I may have to do some changing about where we're at. But I thought these three kids right here, the silver calf, the yellow calf, and the black calf for the young man's, all doing a great job. Will y'all pull over here to this side of the ring real quick? And we're going to dismiss four boys that I think are doing a pretty dang good job too. So as we go through here today, I think that may be the name of the game is really tight choices here. So congrats to y'all.
Coming back tonight for our final drive is Lila Blickenstaff, Carter DeBolt, and Range Heaton. Just a reminder, our finals are at 4 o'clock this afternoon. All our callbacks will be in for the finals starting at 4 o'clock right here this afternoon. Coming in the ring, we have Class 2 of our Junior 4-H Showman. First in the ring, we have Eliza Bailey, Autumn Dixon, Chloe Everhart. Is it fighter or feeder? Fighter? Sure. Okay. Gus Fighter, Savannah Gutierrez, Ellison Hall, and rounding out our class is Jordan Hames. This is Class 2 Juniors 4-H Showmanship.
Another group of kids here doing an excellent job, and I'm realizing this job is going to be quite tough today to try to figure out. Now, I will tell you, I think do try not to be just perfectly in key of like, well, if this kid did that and my kid did this, then that's where this should be. And I understand that. I understand that. I cannot see everything, and what we got to do is what's presented to me. And so the decisions will be very tough. As we go about today, and we're going to split some hairs. There'll probably be a lot of kids that I think are probably very excellent showmen that don't make it back to our drive here later, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes that to help with pressing forward and finding the right things to work on and to improve on. And so we've got an excellent group here. We're going to bring three kids here from this group as well, and I think I could easily do most all of them is the thing. So we're going to start here with the young lady in black bow. Would you pull over here to this side? Young lady here in the pink, and then our other young lady here in the pink. And so really super job. Keep giving these kids a round of applause, please.
Chloe Everhart, Allison Hall. Coming back for our final drive tonight are Chloe Everhart, Savannah Gutierrez, and Ellison Hall. We'd like to recognize our title sponsors for Junior Livestock Show this year, the Duke and Ruth Fetty Trust and the Robert Baker Foundation. Great supporters of Junior Show. We certainly appreciate them. Our ring sponsor today is from Ag West Farm Credit, and we also appreciate their support for sponsoring the beef ring today. So thank you to those folks. Reminder, we do have raffle tickets for sale for our pallet bin. If you hit the QR codes at the end of the buildings, it'll take you to our site and you can buy raffle tickets for the pallet bin. We're moving on to Class 3 Juniors 4-H Showmanship. First in the ring, we have Brindley Atkins, True Heaton, next in, we have Allie Hunt, Cambry Jones, Rory Lorden, Lane Moose, and rounding out our class, we have Charlie Stahlkopf. This is Class 3 Juniors 4-H Showmanship.
We got another good group here. We had to deal with some dilemmas, and that's okay. You got to learn how to deal with some dilemmas like that and to be able to work through that. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You can only learn if you've had problems. That's right. So we got an excellent group here. These kids, I think, are a little more aggressive about the way that they show in many different ways. I'm going to give them a couple pointers, a few things that I see as we go along here. But I think we've got some kids doing a super job of the walk into place and the head up, and their posture exemplifies through the way that the cattle will present their front end, especially here. So very nice job. Here you go, boss. Take them around the outside. This is a very nice job. We're going to take our young lady here with the black ball face calf. Okay, can you pull him over here? Great job there. Young lady with your short horn, will you bring him over? And then our young lady with her other black ball defect calf, will you pull right over here? Thank you all very, very much. Did a great job here.
Returning for our championship drive tonight will be True Heaton, Allie Hunt, and Charlie Stahlkopf. Folks, we'd like to recognize our belt buckle sponsors for the Showmanship Awards today. The Showmanship buckle sponsors is Columbia Bank. The Showmanship Reserve Award sponsors is the McGregor Company. The Supreme Showman Award sponsor is Corey Stock Company. And once again, the PeeWee Awards were sponsored by Spangle Saloon and K3 Farms. We appreciate all their efforts and all they do for helping out our young showmen. So thank you to those sponsors. Once again, a reminder, our finals will start at 4 o'clock this afternoon for all the callback kids to get to come back and try one more time to get that banner. We'd also like to remind all our showmen and parents, once that's over, we need all hands on deck. We need to clean this show ring up for the sale ring to be set up for tomorrow's livestock sale. So if you could stay afterwards and help us out, it would be much appreciated. Okay, we're moving on to
Can you make an announcement?
if anybody hasn't had breakfast yet, the exhibitor breakfast over across the way is open till 10:15. So you've got a little more time if you hadn't had breakfast yet. Okay, we're moving on to Class 4. This would be, first in the ring would be Paige Jeske. Next we have Claire Kastner. Logan Kniveton. Kaysen Lemitz. Wyatt Tichnell. Kinsley Williams. And rounding out our class is Grayson Yates. This is our fourth and our last class of junior 4-H cattle showmanship.
We got a really nice group of kids here. They're very intense, very intense. They've got the stare down happening, and the intensity is strong here. I've got probably 4 kids I think I'm going to pull off this group, and we're going to wrap them back in later for the heat. But doing a super job, and I'll hit back on some things with them. So give these kids a big round of applause. Our young lady here with our big yellow calf, you want to pull yours over here? Let's pull yours over here, young man with the semi. Yeah. And then our 2 kids here on the end, young lady with the stocking legged steer, pull over, and we'll pull the yellow calf over as well, young man. Good job here. Congrats to y'all.
Coming back for the final drive this afternoon will be Claire Kaesner, Kaysen Lemitz, Kinsley Williams, and Grayson Yates. Folks, we want to recognize a couple of young individuals here. We're lucky enough to have 2 of our Washington State FFA officers here. Sitting next to me, Katie Bellis, our state FFA president, and running the gate over there, Mr. Gus Sixdorf, the Washington State vice president for the FFA. Give these young folks a round of applause for their accomplishments and for helping us out here. We certainly appreciate all they're doing. All right, now we're moving on to 4-H cattle showmanship. This would be our intermediates in 4-H. And first in the ring, we have Kevin Brash, Blake Braun, Abby Breckner, Aubrey Dagon, next in we have Aubrey Kniveton, Alexis Lindgren, Ava McKay, and rounding out our class is Bennett Rep. This is Class 1 Intermediate 4-H Cattle Showmanship.
this thing on. I'm hesitating because I need to make a decision. And I think this is pretty tough. As we move from the juniors here to the intermediates, the level of criticism that I have to give, or the level of a critic, I have to be a pretty tough critic here, right? Like, all of these kids are pretty effective at getting their calf to the position and getting him set and giving me a good look of them. And there's maybe just some minor things and differences about some presentation stuff that make a little bit of difference. And I believe this is a precursor to 5 or so classes of kids that then we're going to try to pull out, maybe just a couple from each heat to come back later. And I think this is going to get pretty tough, right? We're going to make some calls where I think this happens very well. So we may have a lot of our intermediate kids out, our parents or families right around here. This tends to be what happens, or way I try to approach this, is you've got to win out of your heat, right? Like, you've got to win out of your heat. And if it didn't go perfect into your heat, then you're not going to get a chance to go to the final, right? Which sometimes means the very best showmen, it didn't go perfect in the heat, and they don't make it to the final, okay? But that's the way this happens. You've got to get out of your class to get to the division, right? And so we've got to be effective from kind of the get-go of what we do here. So I will say, I think this is going to be really tight, very, very close stuff. I would have preferred to maybe pull 4 or 5 kids from here. And to see them all together, there's a decent chance they're 4 or 5 of the better kids later. But that's what we're going to deal with, okay? So we're going to pull a couple so that we don't get totally overloaded later with our ring and now we do our finals. But that's what I'm going to say is the criticism here is it's tight, it's critical, and I'm being pretty tight on these kids. And so don't hold your head down because you've not made it out of your heat. Just look at what we can improve and try to work forward from there, because I think some of the very best kids are going to wind up maybe not getting that chance. And so give these kids a big round of applause. Certainly an excellent group here to start off our intermediates. There's some minor things that kind of make some changes. The 2 kids I like here in this heat is going to be our young lady with the big calf, right here in the striped shirt. We can pull him over here, and our young lady with the semi-heifer. If you'll pull her on over. These 2 kids doing a great job. Very, very tight on lots of decisions here, so we run through things. Congrats to y'all.
Coming back tonight for our championship drive are Aubrey Kniveton and Ava McKay. All right, next in the ring we have Class 2 of our intermediate 4-H showmanship. First in we have Brielle Kleinsmith. Next we have Casey Conscien. Brooke Giusetti. Next in the ring, we have Colin Hames, Braden Hill, Weston Tichnell. And rounding out our class is Kaysen Witters. This is Class 2, Intermediate 4-H Showmanship.
Going to be left with a couple more tough decisions here as we get in through our second heat, but I'm doing an excellent job, and we've got some minor things or more differences here as far as maybe our exaggeration of the way we want to set the cattle, and make sure we do keep things all collected in a manner that's up underneath them and not too far and spread out too much. So if you would here on our second heat, give these kids a big round of applause, and I'll pull a couple of kids from there. We're going to take the young lady here with the sock-footed calf. If you'll bring your calf right over here, nice job. And we're going to take the young man here with the heifer calf, all right? And we'll bring that over. Congrats, very, very nice job here, y'all.
Coming back for our championship drive will be Brooke Giusetti and Braden Hill. I'd like to take a minute and recognize some folks we have in the ring helping us out today. These are some of our interns. These are college-age kids that come back home and help us out at junior show. Some of them actually showed here. Lydia Wicks from Raritan, who's going to Walla Walla Community College, is here today helping us out. Riley Agar from Thermopolis, Wyoming, going to Casper College. And Molly Stricker from Scottsbluff, Nebraska, also going to Casper College. Interns, they apply, they come in, they help us out. We appreciate their help. Give these young people a round of applause for all their hard work they do for us. Next in, we'll have Class 3 of our intermediate 4-H showmanship. First in the ring, we have Emily Blickenstaff, Eli Cobbs, next in, we have Chase Duckin, coming through the door, we have Eiley Fitzner, coming in now is Aubrey Ledgerwood, followed by Garrick Olson. And rounding out our class is Owen Wagner. This is Class 3 Intermediate 4-H Showmanship.
I will say I think this is my toughest decision about pulling a heat here. What we kind of get into is we have a variation of kids that are going to be really good about grabbing our feet, getting things set, and getting the calf presented right, and then also a variation of kids that are doing a really good job with their posture and presence and the way that they present themselves as confident and capable. And I think that makes this a very challenging heat to work through here, and a lot of different options. As a parent, you may sit around ringside and say, well, my kid didn't get pulled here, and I don't see how they didn't in this case of what they did. And I think this is a interesting dynamic to try to work through here. So if you would actually, as you work with your kids, what you do with them here is go back ringside and say, hey, these are the things we're going to mess with and what we're going to do better, and we're going to get that done. So I think these are places to be aggressive about correcting and moving forward with the way that we do things. Okay, so excellent job here. I'm going to take just a second, make sure I'm straight with what I want to do, but give this kids in our third heat here a really big round of applause.
Coming back for our final drive in the championship round at 4 o'clock this afternoon is Emily Blickenstaff and Eli Cobbs. Once again, finals at 4 o'clock this afternoon. When 4-H is done today, we are going to take a lunch break, and FFA Showmanship will start at 1 o'clock sharp this afternoon. 1 o'clock sharp for FFA Showmanship. Okay, we're moving on to Class 4 of Intermediate Showmen. First in the ring, we have Natalie Gutierrez. Natalie Heineman. Next in, we have Mason Lewis. Blake Lindgren. Laramie Lure. Next in the door, we have Landon Williams. And rounding out our class, we have Lila Young. This is Class 4, Intermediate 4-H Showmanship.
We're doing a really good job here too. Kids amped up the intensity in a different manner. I think so. The kids I'm going to pull here they're intense, but they're not overly intense, right? Like it's a smooth, calm, collected deal, and you can see the way the cattle respond to that, the way the cattle tighten up for them and present themselves very, very correctly. So here we got another good heat. Give these kids a big round of applause. Thank y'all. I'm looking forward back here on these kids coming back, but we're going to pull the young lady right off the front here. Will you take your calf, right? Young man with the white calf. Bring over, and we're going to take the young lady here off the back in the white shirt. Let's bring that calf too. So congrats, y'all. We'll see them back later this afternoon.
Coming back for our final drive will be Natalie Gutierrez, Landon Williams, and Lila Young. Folks, just a reminder, we will be taking a break for lunch. FFA will start at 1 o'clock this afternoon. In the meantime, we have Longhorn Barbecue and some other vendors out back here. If you're looking for something for lunch, please go over there and participate with our vendors. We appreciate them being here to help feed everybody. And once again, we will start FFA at 1 o'clock. Finals this afternoon will be 4 o'clock in this barn. And we ask that all our showmen and parents, when it's all said and done with, to stick around. We need all hands on deck to clean our show ring up and set up our sale ring for the auction tomorrow. We'll be moving on to a Class 5 intermediate showman. This will be our last class of intermediates. Coming into the ring right now, we have Weston Axtell, Sydney Bettis, coming in the door, we have Hadley Hames, Peyton Wren, next we have Willa McGregor, and rounding out our class, Palin Witters. This is Class 5 intermediate 4-H showmanship.
You're doing a super job here to round out our intermediate showmen this morning, and I'm really pleased here as these kids, you see how calm, collected everything is here. Nobody's out there fretting, they're not too concerned, they're not too worked up, and the cattle this time work very smooth and easy. We have no hiccups here. So really excellent job. If you would give our last heat of intermediates a big round of applause and congratulations. We're going to pull two kids out of here, these two young ladies right here with the Hereford heifer and the Brockle face steer. We're going to pull both of y'all. If y'all will slide out here, congrats to y'all.
Coming back for our finals at 4 o'clock will be Sydney Betez and Hadley Hames. All right, we're moving on to our senior 4-H members. In Class 1, senior 4-H cattle showmanship, we have there we go. First in the ring, we have Caden Axtell. Next in, we have Austin Brash. Followed by Charlie Casey. Next in is Avery Deeds. And rounding out our class is Braden Duckin. This is Class 1 4-H Senior Showmanship.
Well, I'm in a tough spot again. As we start the seniors here, we've got several kids that are really, really competitive, and I think they're going to continue to be more of the competitive ones that we have. And I think then I have a spot where I don't want to have too many kids back out in the final, but at the same time I want to have the good, right kids out in the final too. And so this makes this a little bit difficult as we get numbers, and we may not see what we have going on here in a bit. But I actually think we have all 5 of these kids are doing a really good job. We are going to pull one kid. We're going to pull one kid off of the 5 from coming back, so we're going to have 4 kids come back in here. And I hate to be that person, okay? So, but that's what we're going to do because I think that's the right spot to do it. So we're going to take all 4 of the black and the black and white calves, all right? So I hate to be that guy to you, man, all right? But I'd be on the Hereford calf. But let's take these 4 over real quick. Very, very nice job, man. Congrats to all y'all.
So coming back for our finals this afternoon are Austin Brash, Charlie Casey, Avery Deeds, and Braden Duckin. Once again, a reminder, our finals will start at 4 o'clock this afternoon right here in this building. As soon as our senior 4-H is done, we'll take a lunch break and we'll start up again at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock sharp in here for the FFA Beef Showmanship. Okay, we're ready for Class 2 of our senior 4-H showmanship drive. First in, we have Grady Atkins. Elliot Keys. Pfeiffer Rosenberger. Hannah Smith. Ella Tichnell. And Claire Van Tyne. That's Class 2 of our senior 4-H beef showmanship.
Well, as I said, I was in a tough spot when we started this division. I am in a tough spot, and I have maybe not been quite as critical as I needed to be to try to make sure we don't have an entire pen full of cattle here later when we do our final. But that's okay. We're going to kind of stick with the way we're at on the tracks, and I think our senior kids, as you can see, everything works a little more efficiently. Right, everything's a little smoother when we got the older kids in here because things are going smoother on their end, right? And that makes it very efficient. So if we've got a lot of kids back later, I think that's going to be just fine and with the way that we can work through them. Okay, so really, really nice job here. If you would give this division here a round of applause. Congrats to y'all. I said we'll probably wind up with too many because I wind up with 4 of them. We're going to bring a young lady here in the purple, thank you, and then we're going to bring this young lady here with the steer, and the young lady here with the Hereford heifer, and our young lady with the black calf here at the end. Okay, and we'll bring those 4 back. Very nice job there, y'all.
Coming back for our finals this afternoon are Elliot Keys, Pfeiffer Rosenberger, Hannah Smith, and Claire Van Tyne. Once again, we have a raffle going on. Don't forget to scan your QR code. You can buy your raffle tickets online through Junior Show for the raffle. It's for a pallet bin. Help yourself there. Help out our ambassadors by doing so. Next in, we have Class 3 of our Senior 4-H Cattle Showman. First in the door, we have Matthew Kleinsmith. Kaylee Eider. Judson Hall. Followed by Nadia Holt. Tommy Joe Jensen. And rounding out our class, Paige Reef. This is Class 3 Seniors 4-H Showmanship.
Also, another very tough group here, and trying to pull off what we need and match them with the kids that we've seen already here in this division is an interesting dynamic to put together. I will say, I think I might wind up leaving a couple of kids off of this group that may be better than some of the kids that I pulled in the early two heats. And what we'll do and work with is maybe I could kind of finagle, or not finagle, but understand where I sit for about 5 kids is what I got to pick through. So I want you to wind up being a touch more critical here. I don't want you to take that as later if you come back and you see, like in the final, you're like, man, I can be better than this kid. I can be better than this kid. Well, yeah, there's a good chance you are better than that kid and what you do here. But as we work towards the 5, I think that is what makes it tough. I need to get down there to where there's 5. Okay, so we're doing an excellent job here. Lots of little minor things maybe we could tweak and change on, and I'm going to be a touch more critical about just getting a little bit better of a perfect set, that perfect set to try to do there. If we see some things a little off, then it gives me a bad impression of your calf, and I make a bad read of them. And where we did that, maybe in a couple spots here, maybe hurt the kids a little bit. So if you would here, man, this is doing a great job, an excellent, smooth job here. Give them a big round of applause, please. Congrats to them. We're gonna grab 3 kids here. Okay, it's gonna be a young lady here with the white steer. We'll pull over, a young man here with a black-white flank calf, and then the silver calf here, young lady. It's a very, very nice job. The other 3 kids are excellent showmen. Okay, very good. It's just getting really tense.
Joining us for this afternoon's championship drive will be Kaylee Eider, Judson Hall, and Tommy Joe Jensen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Class 4. This will be our last class of 4-H showmen. This is Class 4 of our senior beef showmen. All right, we're ready for class 4 and our final class of senior 4-H showman. First in the ring, we have Samantha Funk. Next, we have Xander Orcutt, followed by Reese Soliday, Chloe Weisler, and rounding out our class is Cammie Williams. This is class 4, senior 4-H beef showmanship.
I'm gonna stop saying I'm in a tough spot because I've put myself here. Okay, we've got some really good kids. This group's very, very good about the way that they handle themselves and the way they posture. They're well dressed too, and it stands out. And I think those things come together. So they're gonna make this a little bit of a tough deal. We're gonna have a packed house here later, but that's okay. And we're gonna make one tough call right now, and that's all right. We're gonna make that tough call and we're gonna learn from it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wind up with 4 kids in here that are gonna come back, and we'll have a full house, okay? But that's what it's gonna be, and I'm gonna feel bad again for what we leave out, but that's all right. I'm gonna talk to her and we're gonna make that deal work. So we're gonna young lady with the yellow brockle and the young man here in the blue, and we're gonna take our last 2 girls here. And I'm sorry, that's what I had to do, okay? But it's not necessarily what I had to do. You do a great job showing, and I got just a few little critiques for you, and then we're gonna have a full group anyways, okay? So congrats to y'all. Give these kids just a big round of applause, please.
Coming back for our final drive is Samantha Funk, Xander Orcutt, Chloe Weisler, and Cammie Williams. As a reminder, we'll start with our FFA showmanship at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Following the showmanship, we will have the breeders' pen of 3. If you have any breeders out there want to enter 3 of their animals up here, please get in here and get them entered. But we will start FFA at 1 o'clock, and our finals will be at 4 this afternoon. We'll see you at 1.
All right, welcome to our FFA Showmanship show. Entering into the ring, we're going to start with our freshman sophomore division. Class 1. We have Ellis Cobbs from Liberty FFA. Mason DeBolt, Medical Lake. Trayton Kimball from Pomeroy. Emmett Kniveton from Connell. Chance Savage from Pomeroy. And Justin Walsborn from Colton. Our ring sponsor today here in the cattle barn is Ag West Farm Credit, and our judge is Joe Rathman from Smithville, Texas. Test. Just a reminder, the finals for our showmanship will be at 4 p.m., starting with 4-H, starting with the juniors and working older.
I broke it. No, I didn't break it. So we're going to start off the afternoon with the first class of our FFA kids here. Interesting, we have a class full of all boys. We don't tend to have that. Usually the girls excel in here in the showmanship ring here. But we're doing a great job. All these kids are doing a good job about calm, collected. Everything's possessed in a way that is making the cattle react and perform for them. I think doing an excellent job in a lot of different ways. I think 3 of the boys maybe do a little bit speedier job or quicker, faster job to get the set, get to the set and to make those positions right. And so we're going to pull those 3. But what I really like here is all the kids just real smooth and easy. Cattle cooperating in the afternoon here, and that makes a difference because the kids are all cooperating in their fashion. Nothing's too fast or nothing's too worked up among them. Okay, so if you would give these kids a big round of applause. Great job here. We're going to wind up picking up our 3 boys right here in the middle. Okay, so you young man, you're going to pull over here, and you in the cowboy hat, and you young man, we're going to pull y'all right over. Congrats to y'all. We'll see y'all back out here in just a bit.
Returning from Class 1 of FFA Freshman Sophomore Showmanship to the finals later after 4 p.m. are Trayton Kimball, Emmett Niveton, and Chance Savage. Quick announcement as they exit the ring, the breeder's pen, the cattle breeder's pen, will be immediately after the conclusion of the FFA showmanship classes, so probably here in about an hour and a half or so. Welcome into the ring, Class 2 of the FFA Freshman Sophomore Division. We welcome in Kennedy Cannon from Pomeroy, Julian Gonzalez from Connell, Mac Healy from Chewelah, Quincy Lynn from Tico, Maggie Olson from Cheney, and Lola Walsborn from Colton.
We got a very tough group here. These kids are intense and aggressive about it, and I like the speed at which they operate to get there. And we got a few kids I think do just a little quicker job to a more ideal set on the feet, and then maybe that's some differences of keeping their cattle collected just a little bit more. I don't know if they're necessarily perfect right now at this last set, but they're the ones that work towards that, and then still always got a really nice set up before that. So if you would here, we'll give a big round of applause here for our division of the middle division here. It's going to have just a few come back in a bit, and we'll see, but it's going to be your young man here in the cowboy hat. All right, we're going to pull you, sir. Our young man with the baldy heifer did a nice job, and our young lady right there behind that. We're going to pull those three. Super job there. Congrats to y'all.
Exhibitors returning to the finals at 4 p.m., Jillian Gonzalez, Mac Healy, and Quincy Lynn. Again in the cattle ring, our ring sponsor is Ag West Farm Credit. Judge today, Joe Rathman of Smithfield, Texas. Title sponsor for the junior show is the Duke and Ruth Fetty Trust, Robert V. Baker Foundation. Our showmanship buckle sponsors later today are Columbia Bank, and our showmanship reserve award sponsors are the McGregor Company. Supreme showman sponsors is Corey Stock Company. We'll now welcome into the ring the third and final class of the freshman-sophomore division. We have Jack Baser from Pomeroy, Tyler Dixon from Pomeroy, Quinn Falwell from Reardon, Tylee Gertis from Liberty, Reagan Cortice from Lynn Ritzville, and Raymond Laws from Liberty.
This is a very nice group of kids here. I think the intensity has really shown well in this group, that their speed and all things make happen. They make happen very fault-free. There's several kids in here just not making mistakes for me to pick on, to say, hey, that's why I'm not going to bring you back. And that's what I try to sit out here and do. Say, these are reasons why I wouldn't bring you back in this case, and where we can improve. A lot of these kids don't make a lot of mistakes. That makes it a little more tough on me here to put together. So doing an excellent job here. If you would give them a big round of applause. Congratulations. This is our last heat of these freshman sophomore grids, and so we're going to wind up here with 4 of these that I want to take off just right off the front. So our young man right up front, and our young man right there, and the 2 girls right there. So these 4 calves we're going to bring right back, but they're doing a great job. Congrats to y'all.
Receiving purples and returning to the finals after 4 p.m. after the 4-H show are Jack Baser, Tyler Dixon, Quinn Falwell, and Tylee Gertis. All right, into the ring. We're going to welcome our first class of FFA Junior Senior Showmanship. Coming into the ring, we have Case Brown from Reardon, Kelly Cordill from Lind Ritzville, J.C. Cox, Walla Walla, Ainsley Imler, Colfax, Grace Morris, Pullman, Kale Mullins, Pomeroy, Stella Nelson, Stanwood.
As we get in here to the senior group, we're going to have some tough decisions to make and some close calls, I think, for sure, as we start our competitiveness here very heavily. And we've got it from one end to the other on how our speed and how quick we are to get to things. This looks like a great way to start. So if you would give this division, or the beginning of this division, a big round of applause. Congrats to them. Doing an excellent job. We're going to take 4 kids right here, right now, is what we're going to do. So we're going to do the young lady here and the young lady here and the yellow calf and the red calf. We'll bring those 4, and I think this is going to begin to be very, very competitive as we go.
Returning to our showmanship finals at 4 p.m. are Kelly Cordill, JC Cox, Ainsley Imler, and Grace Morris. Next into the ring, we have Class 2 of our junior-senior division. Cashley Brown from Reardon. Lila Heineman, Medical Lake. Morgan Lewis, Odessa. Cade Meacham, Connell. Grayson Slaybaugh, Pomeroy. And Luke Wade, Lynn Ritzville.
This is a pretty tough group here too, and trying to distinguish, hey, there's the things that I can land on and feel concrete about it is very difficult to do. And we still got to manage that we need to keep the ring small enough here later, and trying to do that, and that's where we're going to start. Some of these things are going to be critical, okay? So every one of these kids is super good about their posture and their presence. The way they stand out in front of their calves is really good. All of them have that part of it done. I think in a couple of places, maybe the speed of our setup maybe changes just a touch, or the intensity of gathering the calf back up and lifting them to kind of present themselves the best is maybe some of the difference. And so this is a really good group, very, very good group. So give them a big round of applause here. Doing a super job. Got to be really nitpicky, and then still just hard to figure out, okay, how can I limit down what we've got? But we're still going to wind up with several here. So the young lady out front, if you'll bring your calf back and sit here. We're going to do the three boys here off the end, okay? And we'll see y'all back here in just a bit. Very, very nice job.
Returning to our finals from Class 2, we have Cashley Brown, Cade Meacham, Grayson Slaybaugh, and Luke Wade. Reminder that the breeder's pin of 3 will occur right after our final class of FFA Junior Senior Showmanship. Now entering the ring, Class 3 of our Junior Senior Showmanship, we have Mickey Healy from Chewelah, Kaiser Harris, Pomeroy, Mava Cortice, Lind Ritzville, Luke Main, Stanwood, Kylie Schlottfeld, Medical Lake, and Reagan Soliday, Reardon.
Got another very highly competitive group, and I think very minor things here make a little bit of a difference on some stuff, and going to be very competitive as we get them back out here in our drive here later. So where we get here is maybe a few things more towards speed and catch back up and do it just a little bit quicker in some spots, but also doing a really nice job of keeping things smooth and consistent. So give our drive here a big round of applause. Congrats to these kids. Doing well. I've got three we're going to pull back here. So our streak face calf here of the young ladies, so we'll pull that one. Our young lady right here with the solid black calf, and our young man with the stock-legged steer calf. Those three we're going to bring back later, but a very, very nice job here. Congrats.
Returning to finals, Mickey Healy, Mava Cortice, and Luke Main. All right, our fourth and final junior-senior FFA showmanship class is entering the ring. We have Peyton Cannon from Pomeroy, Zane Downey, Whitehall, Olivia McGregor, La Crosse, Warren Rep, St. John Endicott, Molly Warren, Pomeroy, and Olivia Wicks, Reardon.
We've got a really good group here to finish off things. I think highly competitive. We're going to be pretty nitpicky since we've seen them here as we've gotten along. Okay, so nice job here, kids. We've even had a little bit of a snafu with the halter there, and it stayed calm and got that all collected back. Those things could be a bugger about that for sure. You handled that way better than my 6-year-old did the first time. He goes, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" and just walked off from the calf like that when he had no lead left. So very nice job here. Give these kids a big round of applause. Excellent job. We are down on the end of these, and we're gonna wind up with a pretty good group. And there's gonna be about 15 of them kids, but we're gonna wind up pulling the 4 kids right out of the middle. Okay, so here with the big calf and the baldy and the red calf and the young lady with the star-headed one, we're gonna bring those back. But congrats to y'all. Good luck with them as we go.
Returning for finals, Zane Downey, Olivia McGregor, Warren Rep, and Molly Warren. A reminder, the cattle showmanship finals will begin at 4 p.m. with the 4-H juniors and progress through age, followed by FFA freshmen, sophomores, and FFA junior seniors. Next, and it should be within the next couple minutes, we will have the breeders' pen